is this a single board Hold'em bomb pot?
Single board Hold'em bomb
Okay,
pot.
this is part of the reason why I wanted to pick this because I've done a lot of double board, double board PLO stuff on the show because that's a big thing, on my podcast and videos because that's a big thing in Texas. Usually when a card room sort of enters the foray of allowing bomb pots, it usually starts off as a single board Hold'em bomb pot, which my opinion on single board bomb pots are they're pretty stupid, but it's just sort of natural that that's how they start if a room hasn't done a bomb pot before. The reason why single boards are kind of stupid is because, especially single board PLO bomb pots, the worst. The nuts are always out there. In a bomb pot, of course, a bomb pot is everyone gets cards pre-flop and it's entirely random. People put in an ante. You want to have people go for both sides, whether it's a PLO high-low single board or just any double board, because that's where they make the mistakes. Single board no limit Hold'em is more interesting than PLO though, I think. So it sort of goes down, but that's how it's usually started. So single board no limit Hold'em. Okay. What's the size of the game?
It's a 235 game, 1,000 max.
Okay.
I'm the effective stack for the hand, and I've got like 660, 665, something like that.
And how big is the ante?
$20.
Okay, so it's 20 times what, like 9 or 8 or something like that?
9, so 180.
So it's 180.
A little less, I guess.
The other thing that I will mention too at 660 effective is you definitely need to watch the pot size here too, because if somebody comes out and bets like $80 and someone calls, your move is basically all in or fold for the most part. I think that's one thing that people don't recognize when the ante is large for the stack sizes, and I think that that's something that a room will get wrong at first, not really setting the appropriate ante size for the game.
Yep, and I've been trying to figure out how to play these bomb pots. That our room has started doing them in the last couple months, it seems like, and it seems like almost every bomb pot somebody gets stacked.
Yeah. And somebody had said that at the lodge they're actually putting a cap on the bomb pots, like 100 BBs per person or something like that, because I can see that too in deep games. The bad players getting killed. And another thing with single board PLO, I remember there were 2 streams on TCH where you can flop the nuts in a single board PLO bomb pot, be deep, and you can't put any money in. And that's what happened to me against Chaz one hand too, because of redraws and things like that. Okay, so 20 times 9.
Yep. And so we go straight to the flop.
And what position are you in?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm under the gun.
And what do you have?
And I have 10 of hearts, 10 of diamonds.
All right, so 10 of hearts, 10 of diamonds, 9 ways. Okay, and what's the flop?
10 of diamonds, 9 of hearts, 8 of hearts.
Okay, that's the, top? Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, there's just one. I fake myself. All right, so you got top 2. Okay, so you have top 2.
Side.
10, 9, 8, right?
10, 9, 8, and I have pocket 10s.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said 10, 9. Okay, so you have top set. Now, I will say here, too, one of the things that you have to recognize in bomb pots is that because everybody's random, when you have a board like this on a 3 smooth straight, like 10, 9, 8, there are tons of combos of straights, right? We've got 6, 7, we have Jack 7, and we have Queen Jack here, right, for straights. Now, everybody's random. There's 16 combos of each one of those holdings, so there's 48 combos of straights out here. You block all the top pairs, or most of the top pairs here too, plus any hands that are going to get it in with you probably have a massive amount of equity if they're draws. And I'm talking about maybe Jack X with a flush draw. Now, of course, you could be getting it in with a lower set or bottom 2, but I do want to point that out.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely didn't feel like a safe spot for me.
Yeah.
So it checks to me.
Okay.
I bet 45, and 2 players behind me call. I think one was middle position and one was the button or the cutoff.
Okay. It's interesting because I don't know the answer. I'm just sort of pondering here. If your hand is even worth a bet, I would probably tend to think that it is. And the reason why is because people play these so badly, you're getting called by a lot of draws. But the other interesting to note here too is it's no limit. And I'm used to playing these bomb pots as pot limit, double board. So somebody can jam on you here. Like if you bet 45 and a guy calls and then somebody jams for like 5 or 600, are you going to call off?
Yeah, that's sort of what I was trying to tease out. I think I fold. I don't know. It's close.
I mean, you'd have to run it and try to figure out if someone would ever, because again, you're blocking you're blocking a lot of the top and middle and top two pair, and then you try to figure out like the hands that will get it in with you here, combo draws and large straights. I wonder if you even have the equity to call because it would be such a gross overjam because it's no limit. So it's kind of interesting, but obviously that doesn't happen. So MP1 calls and cutoff calls. So now the pot is what 315.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the turn is the 2 of diamonds.
Okay.
I lead out for 200.
So you're not concerned that someone has a straight here.
I figured they would have jammed.
Well, at this
raised me at least.
At this stack depth, I'd probably tend to agree with you, but people might play like 6-7 here pretty cautiously when you're betting into like 8 people, right? In this particular spot. So you lead for 200 now?
Yeah. And
Okay.
the middle position player calls and the other one folds.
So MP1 calls, fold, and now the pot is 715, and I believe that you guys have what, like 400 left? Something like that? Okay. Yep.
River's the king of clubs.
King of clubs, okay.
I check. The villain shoves.
Okay, so hold on a second. So hero checks. Now, what's your thinking here?
I figured there was a pretty good chance he was on a flush draw, and so I was trying to bait him into a bluff.
Well, here's the thing about this that's interesting too. Why this can sort of be taken back to a regular hand of poker here. I kind of equate this spot to maybe in a regular hand when you've been betting strong into multiple people. So you've shown a lot of strength, like maybe you've got aces or kings or something like that, and like 4 people called, and you bet flop multi-way, you bet turn multi-way, and maybe one person calls, and then the river is like kind of a total brick, and you check. And my contention is always that I don't see a lot of players bluff with a draw enough here to make me want to check call to induce a bluff, as they probably shouldn't because you've shown so much strength. I think the same thing can be happening here. Like if you were your opponent and you missed a heart draw here, you've shown so much strength by betting into 8 people on the flop and then continuing to lead on turn. I just think it would be kind of crazy to bluff like a busted heart draw here. It just seems like, how are you ever not check calling here? Like in the spot with the hand. Now, with that being said, because you blocked 10-10, like you blocked a ton of the value in this particular spot, I don't know exactly whether or not, it's hard for you to get called here when MP1 calls the turn next to act again. So this one's really close because of the preflop because of the configuration of the hand where he might be weighted towards draws, and because you block a lot of hands that can call at the end. Like you're even blocking like king 10, right? And like 9-8 and stuff like that, and you're blocking a lot of 2 pairs are probably going to check back. So, could we ever say that this might actually be a check fold here? Remember, the options on the river are to obviously bet for value, check to induce a bluff. If we don't think checking to induce a bluff is good, there are situations where you can check with the intention of it going check, check, and then have it check fold. And, for a lot of people that might watch this, it might sound like heresy, but if we were to do a live node lock and say, our opponent is never betting for value on the river with anything worse than 10-10, like not even a set, 9s or 8s, nothing like, they're never value betting anything worse than 10-10. And we don't think they're bluffing that often because of the strength that we've shown, then it becomes a likely check fold. This is extreme because we don't equate ever really check folding top set in Hold'em on a blank, but it's a bomb pot. So the value of hands go way, way down. It almost becomes almost like a PLO type spot. Now, that I just want to bring up that there are absolutely times when the correct play at the end is to check fold in given situations. The question is whether or not you should bet small here or check. Okay, so you checked. Okay.
The villain shoves for 400.
Oh, man, shoves for 400. Wow. Well, I mean, I just broke it down. I mean, listen, you're getting the pot's going to be 11.15 and it's 400 for you to call. I think that we can all agree, for the most part, that the villain is not shoving worse for value. Now, maybe somebody might say, because the villain probably doesn't arrive here all that much. I mean, I guess it's possible they might have 9s or 8s, but let's just assume that the villain is not shoving worse here for value. Then you are bluff catching. Is that right? Don't you think?
That's what I thought I was doing at the time.
That you were bluff catching. Okay.
Yeah, I was fixated on him having a heart draw. I was, as they were going to deal the river, I was saying, in my head, no heart, no heart, no heart. And so, I mean, that's what I was focused on.
So some of the people in the live chat here, what's up, Slow Poker? King, Queen of Hearts, they say. But why would King, Queen of Hearts bet at the end here? It's not for value. You mean as a bluff with the Queen, Jack? King, Queen of Hearts is going to check back almost always here. I think the same thing with King, Jack of Hearts here too. It's just they're going to get to showdown when they river top pair in a bomb pot. When we don't see people turn those hands into a bluffs anyways. So you think, MJ, Michael, that you are bluff catching. And I guess my contention is that I wonder if our opponent bluffs enough here. So and for him to call next to act on turn, he would really have to have a huge combo draw, like a Jack X of Hearts. Now they're random, so it could be like Jack 5 of Hearts, Jack 6 of Hearts, but that's a strong call on the turn. And I guess my contention is he could be holding on here with 6-7 or Jack 7. It's really close, I think, getting 3-1, and people might just play poorly in these, but I will still maintain that I don't think that that it's very, very rare that somebody is going to be shoving a hand worse for value here. That's my contention. What did you end up doing here?
Well, so I snap called because I snap called for the wrong reasons. So I snap called.
So you snap called, huh?
Yep, I snap called. I thought I was checking for a trap.
Okay, but do you agree with what I said though? The way I'm breaking this hand down?
I mean, that all totally makes sense. At the time I thought a straight would have raised by then, although the low straight just sort of coming along does make sense. Something like King Queen definitely checks back, I would think. But so, yeah, that was my thinking at the time. Was I thought I was bluff catching, but it turns out I think he was betting for value with 2 pairs.
So you snap called, and what happened?
He said 2 pair.
Villain says you're good 2 pair, or
He says I have 2 pair. I turn over my set, and he mucks.
So you called, and he says 2 pair without showing the hand, or did he say good call?
No, he said 2 pair.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's shocking to me. That is absolutely shocking to me.
This is how bad people are playing these. This is how bad people are playing these bomb pots.
Well, I mean, then if it's that extreme where they don't understand the hand strength, then obviously it would become a call, because what I said kind of goes out the window if they don't really understand hand strength, where they think that 2 pair is somehow a value bet here at the end, right?
Yeah.
So, because I think in the email, I thought you had said that he said good call 2 pair, and then I was going to tell you I don't believe for 1 second unless you saw the cards. But if he actually said 2 pair and he hadn't revealed, unless he was a scumbag and trying to get you to fold, then he probably did have 2 pair, which is really shocking to me. It's really shocking to me. That's definitely an interesting one. But I will say, for people that are new to bomb pots, the hand values go way, way down in traditional sense, because everybody is entirely random. And on a 3 straight board, you see multiple combos of hands. Like I said, we've got 48 combos of hands of straights here, right? Jack 7, 6, 7, and Queen Jack. And there is some validity to thinking that straights would probably jam at some point with the action card killing things. So I think that I kind of washed over that. But it's an interesting one. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Bart.